number.
Do you have your VPN on?
Number that's ticking up. And if there's a number that's ticking up, that means there's every chance that we might be live. What do you think the odds are? I mean, I could put it about 50-50 personally. Let's just go over to... Oh, there I am. There I am. Hello, me. Hello, Steve. Hello. Welcome. Welcome, Steve. Oh, thank you, Steve. To this. Lorwyn Eclipsed. Not Lorwyn. Lorwyn Eclipsed. Set review. How you're doing out there? Are we good? And the audience says...
It's working.
It's working. Hooray. Let me just make sure I can get it up on my enormous new 27-inch monitor that I bought the other day. It's very good. You should all get one. I nearly got a 32, but I just thought that would be silly. Oh, no, hang on. I need to see myself, please. I want to hear myself in the background, unless I see the wounds in his hands. To see myself, please. Yeah, there we go. I can see myself now. Brilliant. Welcome. Well, sorry I'm a bit late. Yes, all sorts of things cropping up at the last minute. How are we doing for time? Yes. Long-time listeners to the channel will no doubt know that I haven't done the last part of the Lorwyn set review yet, let alone all of the Shadowmoor stuff. I was quite ill, so that's what happened to all of that, I'm afraid. I mean, that's quite a long time ago now, isn't it, Lorwyn? Shadowmoor was 2 months ago. But I thought to come back, we'd do something new. Because I was still ill when Shadowmoor came out. Even when I did the Shadowmoor set review, it would have been late. It wouldn't have been a first look. So I think there's value in it, and I'll probably do that, and I'll probably go back and do the last part of the Lorwyn one just for completeness' sake. But I thought I'd start with something brand new. I have not seen any of these cards. Not true, I opened a free booster earlier today and I got one. So I've seen about one of these cards. So this will be brand new stuff. What do we have to talk about? Well, I suppose the big thing, last time I was doing a set review, was pre-nerf, wasn't it? Now, the nerf was on, look, I've got the date here, I've done research and everything. The 9th to the 12th, that's about 2 weeks after Shadowmoor was released, there was a big nerf that everybody hated. I mean, did everybody hate it? I mean, there certainly wasn't a huge amount of fallout. Certainly a couple of people deleted their accounts on the forum over it, so we probably had a few people quit the game. But I'm not still hearing the fallout about the big nerf all the time. And honestly, come on, I think we all agree that certain cards had to be nerfed, didn't we? Ocelot Pride couldn't be running around like that, doing its thing. You know, I'm sorry, it couldn't. Ocelot Pride. No 2-card combos in standard, please. Legacy, that's the place for 2-card combos. But yes, there was a lot of cards nerfed. And in fact, some buffs. Even some relevant ones. Fiery, I want to say Fiery Annihilation. I could be completely wrong about that. That one that deals some damage to a creature and destroys 5 supports. That's actually really good in Colours of Magic now. It was a bit garbage when it cost 20, but now it costs less than 11. That's really good for that format now. What do I think of the nerfs? So generally, it would be nice, wouldn't it? It would be nice if the format was now balanced. It's not, is it? It's a weird thing, the nerf, because like they left in place a lot of the most powerful cards that were ruling the format. So things like Dragonhawk, Galter, Golden Wish, my favourite, Overlord of the Flood Pits. They left all of these alone. So you still play with all of those and you still own the format with all of those. There are some things that got their power cut down that are still worth playing with. Demolition Field is definitely not as good as it used to be, but still really fucking good. It's still worth playing with. Desert got busted a bit too far down for my liking. Again, I still think it's a really good card, but it's fallen off my playlist now. Mystical Teachings. Now, I do not think that Mystical Teachings is garbage now. I still use it in certain decks to fetch a Golden Wish and cast a Golden Wish on the next turn. That's still fine. it has gone from my coalition deck, and the reason is that I used to be able to cast Mystical Teachings and immediately cast a Golden Wish. And now what happens is I cast Mystical Teachings, it puts it in the last card of my hand, and then my fucking Overlord of the Flood Pits makes me discard it. So I can't play with all of those cards in the same deck, and I'm afraid Golden Wish and Overlord of the Flood Pits were the two that I decided to keep in. So I do think Mystical Teachings is good because it can still fetch Golden Wish. It can still fetch Tempt. Tempt is okay. Tempt got busted down, but is still pretty good. Not quite as oppressive as it was, so maybe that's a decent nerf. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, that green can still play with Galta and Tempt with Discovery and still do crazy-ass things. Fucking Grist is still just as broken as she ever was. And I really do think that's a problem. We've really got a top tier of Planeswalkers who is just far above everybody else. And clearly they know it because they sold that bundle. Everyone remember this at Christmas? Which was Dakon and Dak and Grist for 80 quid or regional equivalent. And you couldn't even buy them all separately. And they certainly weren't on offer for crystals. So many players I know were saving up their crystals for the Christmas sale. And then all of the Planeswalkers they wanted to buy weren't on the Christmas sale because they wanted to sell them for cash. So we have an oppressive kind of top tier of Planeswalkers. I've actually switched over from Dakon to Aminatu.
Aminatu?
Yes, Aminatu, that's right, that's how that's pronounced. Who I think is, I mean, maybe in the abstract better than Dakon, but I mean, that's a very hard call to make. Dakon's still great, but there are reasons why I'm onto Aminatu at the moment. So I'd still put her in the top tier, but like, we've still got this problem where like every set, I'm sure we'll see it with the Planeswalkers we're about to see. Every set they release some Planeswalkers and you throw them in the bin because they're not as good as the top tier, you know? So, yes. Standard is by no means fixed as a result of the nerf, you know? There's still a top tier of cards. My most powerful decks is not as powerful as it used to be. Still not losing any games with it, though. Well done, Steve. Well done, Steve. I'm getting you 46 perfect win streak. Oh, calm down, you people at the back. It's so embarrassing that you would say that I've got 46 perfect wins in coalitions in a row and 2-time player of the game as well. So embarrassing that you would player of the year. Sorry, I should just make that clear. That's what I said there. 2-time player of the year in a row. Yeah, so don't bring that up. It's so embarrassing that you bring that up. Don't do that. So yeah, there's still a top tier of cards that's problematic. There's still a top tier of Planeswalkers that's problematic. They're releasing new cards as well. This is the thing. Lorwyn didn't really have anything really bust in it. Shadowmoor had that set of filter lands, which are as good. They really are as good as anything that was busted down from the top tier, you know, Graven Cairns and Mystic Gate and Sunken Ruins, all of those things. The filter lands in Shadowmoor, even producing 8 mana, they're really, really good. Even producing 8 mana, they're probably better than Cryptex was. Cryptex, of course, which got busted down and is fairly bad now. They really busted down Cryptex. And then they released some other cards that are as good, if not better than it, which really makes you think that maybe part of the nerf was nothing to do with balance the format. They just wanted to ban some old cards to sell new cards. Yeah? Does sound a bit like that to me. But, you know, at least we've got all of our 2-card combos in standard because Ocelot Pride's been busted down. Pinnacle Emissary. Oh, no, wait, that still worked, doesn't it? Flage. No, that still works as well. So, okay, so there are still 2-card combos in standard. DSC, they've done a bit of a half-assed job balancing the format. Was it worth it? I don't know. Anyway, whatever you think of it, that's the format we're stuck with now. Requisition Raid. Yeah, it's really gone down the toilet. I mean, it's still a good card for getting rid of all your opponent's supports and none of your supports. But you know, putting the spree count up to 3 for killing creatures rather than killing 2 for killing creatures. You can't just draw it and send it out and hope these days. You got spree count of 3 without something else going on, unless you've got good presence on the board, you've got some conversion lands going on, you've cast a golden wish. You're not going to get that spree count of 3. So yes, I'm afraid requisition rate has gone downhill, but that's a good thing. We were comparing every single removal card in the past to requisition rate, weren't we? Yes, we were. Yes, thank you, you people at the back. It's good that you're being vocal today. So now we're going to see, we might see some 1-for-1 removal. I doubt it. We might see some 1-for-1 removal that I like the look of now. We'll certainly be looking at global removal. I have been getting more use in standard coalition events out of Merciless Eviction, which globally removes everything off the board, even my stuff. Doesn't remove vanguards. That's a thing you can exploit, But it's good. I think getting rid of one-sided sweeps is good for the game. So it's a good job there are no more one-sided sweeps in standard. Oh no, but wait! But wait! There's still things like the Meetup Massacre. There's still things like Deem Inferior, which is 12 bloody mana and gets cheaper every time you draw a card. There are one-sided creature sweeps in standard. Do you see what I mean? Very half-assed job. Anyway, so when we look at the new set, we're not going to be comparing everything to how it all was pre-nerf, will we? And I suppose that's got to be something of an improvement, hasn't it? Quick press of what I might thought of Lorwyn and Shadowmoor. The tribal theme is kind of wasted on us, isn't it? We had elves, we had Kithkin, we had giants. Anyone care? Anyone build any goblin tribal decks or tree folk tribal decks? No. And that's kind of the whole point of the set. And it makes those two sets feel like a bit of a failure because the whole point of the set being tribal. And then you go, well, is it possible to build a tribal deck with most tribes? No, it isn't. There are individual cards you can pull out. I'll have a Mystic Gate, please, and I'll put it in my deck with Golden Wish and Overlord of the Flood Pits. I'll do that, but I'm not playing with a Kithkin tribal deck or a Tree Folk tribal deck. And I think that's going to bleed across, probably, to Lorwyn Eclipsed. We might get to the point now where we've got so many Tree Folks where you can build a Tree Folk deck. And by the way, if you're out there, if you've got a killer Tree Folk deck that you like playing, more power to you. But I'm certainly not losing against any tribal decks in my weekly, even during the week routine. So I don't rate them. So shall we actually crack on? After all that, that's a reasonably brief press of what's been going on, isn't it? You've all been staring at this screen, which is Streamlabs showing absolutely nothing. Let us put onto the screen some information perhaps about the new set, Release Note 7.7 content. So what have we got? Affinity. Now Affinity famously broke the shit out of Paper Magic. There are Affinity decks to this day running around the Legacy format. Now, is Affinity, is it in the Lorwyn Eclipsed in paper? Affinity. No, I don't see it actually. Find. How do you spell it again? Affinity. No, it's not in paper. So it's kind of weird that they would put it in Lorwyn Eclipsed in Puzzle Quest, innit? Anyway, I'm sure it does much the same thing. At the beginning of the turn, a card with Affinity has its mana cost reduced by X, where X is the number of cards you control of the same type or subtype listed on the Affinity ability, including reinforcements. So including reinforcements is going to be the useful thing, isn't it? We'd hate it if it wasn't that. The reduction lasts until the beginning of your next turn. So it's kind of permanent then, that's what that means. Tokens count for Affinity, in reinforcements count. Some of the mentioned variable reduce the cost of the spell with Affinity by the same amount till the beginning of the player's next turn. Now I see two two ways that affinity is going to go. Either it's going to make things free and it's going to be completely broken, or it's not, and nobody's going to care about it. Those are the two ways that I see affinity going. So we'll keep an eye out as it goes on. I imagine with the form of the set, we're going to be seeing like affinity for elf and affinity for tree folk. Probably not seeing affinity for artifact. But we will see. So I guess we'll just have to keep an eye out on the individual cards. You would assume that they're clever enough not to just create infinite loot decks that are full of affinity cards. But you only need to put 10 cards in a deck, don't you? We will see. Blight. I've had a look at this one already. I do not like this. When a card that requires the creation of blight gems is used, the required number of gems of your planeswalker's colour become blight gems. Okay, so blight is a cost. Blight is not something that you do. Well, I mean, we'll see when we look at cards. But this is what I'm taking from this, and I've also been looking at what it does in paper. Blight is a cost that you pay for your card. So your card is a bit more powerful than it would normally have been for the cost, because you're paying the extra cost of blighting some of your gems. In paper, what you do with blight is put -1/-1 counters on your creatures. So it's an extra cost that's making you worse, so you can do better things with the card. But in this game, we're blighting some gems. Blight gems are gems that interfere with a match involving them, making that match not generate mana. If a gem is blighted, the first match cleans it and returns to being a normal gem. And only the next match generates mana. If the planeswalker using a card with blight is colourless, a blight gem can be any of the coloured gems on the board. So my first thought when I saw this earlier today is that it reminds me of Void. And then me and Sarah had a little discussion about Void. I never really minded the fact that Hibernum took a swing with Void. Void was terrible and we all hated it. But it was a real attempt to try something. Putting effectively another colour of gems on the board. And there's never been anything quite that big done since, has there? And we quickly found out why. Is because, you know, by adding a 6 colour to the board, especially a 6 colour that produced virtually no mana, you could put a bit of mana into devoid things, but it was basically no mana. It kind of slowed games down and everyone hated that. So I wonder if that's what Blight is going to do. It's just going to slow a lot of games down. I mean, maybe not if we're all playing with filter lands that don't do conversion anymore. You know, conversion lands, they're of the past, man. We've left those behind. We're all into lands like Swarmyard and Mystic Gate that just add mana straight to your hand now. Does Desert still exist? It's still not a bad card. Still got to worry a little bit about the fact that if you play too many conversion lands, Desert is just going to ruin your day. So, you know, there's that. You can blight gems and then just not care because you're playing with a Sunken Ruins or a Mystic Gate. But it feels like it's just going to slow the board down and we will not like it. We'll see. If they end up printing a Golden Wish for 9 mana that makes you blight a couple of gems, then yeah, I'll play with that. All about the power of the cards, isn't it? But inherently, in the abstract, not a fan of blight. Who have we got here? Oko. So this is the thing, isn't it, with Lorwyn Eclipsed, is that it's both Lorwyn and Shadowmoor. I have not read the lore of the thing. I don't know why the plane flips from one to the other, but it is doing. So we've got a nice, happy Lorwyn version of Oko there, and then an evil, happy Lorwyn Oko Shadowmoor version, and we're flipping around between the two. What have we got here? Hit points 102, that's low. Mana bonuses 1/6 -1/02, okay, or -1/1/2/6. Okay, so one big mana bonus, and the other ones are arsing around. Seems low. Is that low? 1/6 7 8 7. Seems low for mana bonuses. Change of tides. This will be the passive. At the beginning of your turn, if you have 15 or more loyalty, Is there a passive as well? No, I guess the passive will be the thing that flips it then. 15 loyalty or more. Tag with Oko Shadowmoor Scion. Otherwise, tag with Oko Lorwyn Liege. Does that mean that if you have 15 or less loyalty, you're always on the one side?
Yeah.
You have 15 or more, you're always on the other side. Because tag to me is like flipping in and out, isn't it? But I think it means Lorwyn for the low loyalty, and then Shadowmoor for the high loyalty. So, Lorwyn, Oko Lorwyn Siege. Ability 1, target creature gets +2/+2 against Changeling. Garbage. I mean, why not produce some Changelings? I've always thought there should be a Planeswalker who just drops 4 Changelings in play. There's a lot of Planeswalkers who make 4 creature tokens, aren't there? You know, there's at least a couple.
6 or 8.
Yeah, there's at least a couple of Planeswalkers who make 4 Thopter tokens. And there's somebody who makes Red Devils. And yeah, there's in fact, yeah, 6 or 8 or 10 or 12. There's a load of Planeswalkers who just make tokens. I've always thought that, yeah, there should be a Planeswalker who makes 4 Changelings. And requiring a creature ready. That's really crap. Your creature costs 12. Your opponent's creature's power becomes 0 until the beginning of your next turn. That's a fog. Is that good enough for 12? I very much doubt it. Let's have a look at side 2. So this is the side you get when you have 15 or more loyalty. Disposable trickery cost 4. Okay, so I was kind of expecting these costs to be above 15 or above, so I guess I'm glad that they're not. Destroy the top 6 cards of your library, then return the first support or creature card, we're getting excited, from your graveyard. Oh, it's going to be good, to your hand. Oh no, what a shame. Yeah, we can't have anyone as good as Grist, can we? That would be awful if we had a Planeswalker that was as good as Grist. No, that's garbage. That's just drawing a card, isn't it? Elk Parade, create 3 elks. These creatures gain vigilance. So 10 loyalty for a 9/9 creature. I mean, that's not terrible. But no, in general, don't like it. Ability 3. Does that mean that Lorwyn doesn't have ability 3, but the other side does? Power in charge. Your elk creatures. Oh, fuck off. Really? Your elk creatures. Go on then. How many elks? Got my little helper elf in the corner there. Hello. Can you tell me how many elks there are in standard? Oh, you're in the middle of a game. She's in the middle of a game. She can't do it, unfortunately. I bet there are. I'm going to say 2. Yeah, that's a good guess. I mean, let's not forget that changelings. Aha! Changelings are elks. Yes, that means there's going to be at least 15, 20.
Take it all back.
Are any of the changelings any good? I really fucking doubt it. I mean, I suppose there is. No, I was going to say there's a changing leader, isn't there? But the changing leader, it's not a changing leader. No, but they're shapeshifter leaders, aren't they?
They are shapeshifters.
So it's not like they suck up elk tokens or anything. Your elk creature get +5/+5 vigilance and hexproof. You gain an extra swap. Yeah, I don't rate that. Seems garbage. We move on. Ajani, and I quite like it. I think maybe because it reminds me a little bit of Worf. I've been watching Deep Space Nine. That's why. That's the only reason why it reminds me of Worf. It doesn't look that much like Worf, does it? But you know, I have nothing if not a terribly short memory. What do we got? White 4, red 2, green 3. Could be worse. I guess I don't mind those mana bonuses too much. Defender of the Mink. When you create a token for the first time each turn, that token gains a basic evergreen at random. Okay, I mean, there's quite a few basic evergreens. We don't care about most of them. It might be lifelink. It might be double strike. It could be defender. It could be vigilance. You know, there's a lot of basic evergreen abilities, and most of them are rather irrelevant, to be perfectly honest. You're going to presumably, with this first ability, we'll get to in a sec, you're going to be stacking multiple basic evergreens on a creature, but they are still random. Cost 6, create 3 Lorwyn Eclipsed tokens. So that's a 3/3 creature. Get a 3/3 creature, then gain X mana, X's number of token creatures you control, up to 12. I mean, that's not a terrible ability, isn't it? You pay 6 loyalty, you get a 3/3 creature, it gets a basic evergreen, you gain 3 mana. If it's not dead, when you cast 9 elk creatures, that's not including shapeshifters?
No.
Right. That's quite a lot. That's just a lot more than I was expecting, 9 elks. Are any of them any good? No. She didn't tell me that. I'm just going to guess. But I feel happy guessing that. Where were we? Yes, so first time you use it, 3 mana. Second time, if those creatures are still alive, 6 mana. Maybe more if you put some more out. That's it's kind of reasonable. I'm not too excited by it, but it's kind of reasonable. Pouncing Prowess. Cost 9. Deal 4 damage, rubbish, to target opposing creature. If that creature doesn't have Defender, Vigilance, or Reach, okay, well that's most creatures, deal 10 damage instead. I mean, 10 damage is a fair old whack. I don't mind 10 so much. It's this Magic DS2X2895. No, this is Magic Puzzle Quest. It is Magic the Gathering, but it's Magic the Gathering Puzzle Quest. So it's not plain old Magic, I'm afraid, if that's what you're looking for. Where was I? I was saying that 10 damage isn't enough. That's right, because, 10 damage doesn't kill a Galter. I'm sorry. I know I have to stop comparing everything to Requisition Raid now, so you won't get bored of me saying Requisition Raid. I'm still going to be saying that things won't kill a Galter, and 10 damage won't kill a Galter. It's big, it's okay. It doesn't kill a Galter. Trustable Chaperone costs 17. Fetch the next 2 different creature cards from your library that cost 11 or less. For 17 loyalty. 11 or less. Put those cards into play under your control. Then, if your current life total is 60 or more, reinforce all creatures you control 3 times. Bit win more, that, isn't it? Bit win more. I'm looking at the 11. The number 11 makes me think Colours of Magic, but I mean, do we care? I mean, hands up anyone who's still playing Colours of Magic the fair way. Is anyone still playing the fair way? Yeah? Are you still playing 1-for-1s? Are you still going, oh, well, you've put 1 card in play, I'm going to kill your 1 card with my 1 card. Is anyone still doing that? Well, that's true. The bottom node is bugged at the moment because cards are actually generating mana at the moment. But even setting aside the bug, I mean, people like Dakon, who are just pumping his first ability and doing silly things with his ultimate. People like Grist, just completely ignoring mana costs and still playing with Galter in Colours of Magic. And most importantly, Quintorius Cand, who just circumvents the entire game. If you're still playing Colours of Magic the fair way, you are a bit of a mug, to be perfectly honest. So, yeah, nothing about this Planeswalker is going to make me want to play him in Colours of Magic all the rest of the time. Yeah, I think we've definitely got 2 Planeswalkers here that, like I was saying before, just 2 more for the garbage heap. Let's have a look at the news. Okay. There's a lot of stuff. Okay, well, we don't like that very much, do we? There is an event going on that does this at the moment, isn't there? I can't remember what. Is it Guardian Project? And there's an issue, or Seasons? No, maybe it's a Seasons one. Is it Seasons of Bloomborough? Is there another Seasons of Bloomborough that has seasons? Is there a Shadowmoor or a Lorwyn one that has seasons?
One that rotated through the different lands.
There is one that rotates through the different lands, and there's one there that if you play a support too early, Greg will just blow it up. So watch out for that. Watch out for your random support being blown up there. Mountain, deal 8 damage to opponent's planeswalker, the first creature card in their hand gained haste. Nah. That player gains 12 mana, and each non-changing creature gets +2/+2. Okay. Player makes a blue mana, draws up to 6 cards and drains 15 mana from their opponent. Okay. This player fetches the first creature or support from their library, destroys the first creature their opponent controls with mana value 15 or less. Okay. I mean, I guess they are, as I say, that blowing the support up fairly early, and maybe gaining 12 mana, and maybe destroying a creature. I think these are effects you have to be kind of mindful of. Nothing has become free. Nothing to watch out for on that level, but still need to probably keep an eye on these node supports a little bit. We're used to these cycling ones by now. What have we got here? Draw 6 or more cards during a single fight. That's nice and easy. Webcore like to make their objectives really fucking irritating, don't they? And that's a nice, easy one. This is a more Webcore-like one. Cast 6 or more creatures with toughness 3 or less. I've just got Widwin today, incidentally. So maybe I will be testing Widwin for objectives like this. And of course there's Harbingers now. The Kithkin Harbinger is a good thing to play in an event like this that says cast a bunch of creatures with toughness 3 or less. Maybe one of the other Harbingers, but that's the one that stood out for me. So there are things to be done with this, but that's still a too high a number. 6 or more creatures, 3 or less. Too high a number, isn't it? Shall we have a scan through the changes and fixes? I notice here that Leyline of the Guild Pact has been busted back up. Now, in fact, it was nerfed, and the nerf said it destroyed a 6x6 block. But the effect that it had was to destroy a 3x3 block of gems, and that was garbage. I still tried playing with it. It was garbage. I stopped playing with it. Yeah, Leyline of the Guild Pact was a card that I liked to play in Scotty Bloodlines. But now it's back to a 6x6 block. I will be testing that again, I think. Still not as good, as blowing up all of your opponent's gems. But then that's the point, isn't it? It is a nerf. So that's worth looking at. Just a bit of a skim. Anything I should be looking at? No, can't be a Assimilation Aegis. Discern creature additional turn. Yeah, that was a bug, yeah. I know that one. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Right, shall we go on to the cards in the set? How are we doing? 10:39. Now, I'm going to be really naughty. And I'm going to start the set review with the Elite Pack. Because we always do it, don't we, at the end of the session. But I want to do the Elite Pack before, because it might take me longer than a week to do the entire set review. I want to know everything that's in this Elite Pack, if it ever loads up on the screen. Yes, I do have a lot of boosters. Thank you for noticing. Yada yada yada. Can you hear me all right? I have my tablet left resting on my lap. I don't even know where the microphone is. I'll pick it up anyway. No, don't open boosters, Steve. People haven't come to see you open boosters. Here we go. So let's see what is in. We're just going to do the mythics. I'm not going to do the rares. Let's see what's in this pack. What have we got? We got 11. And we will start off with Aberrant Return. This sounds like it returns something from the graveyard. Return the first creature from each graveyard to the battlefield with their reinforcements. Now, what I desperately really need to know there... What's that? Exactly. Are you getting... Because obviously I'm getting my creature.
Yeah.
And I'm getting it on my side. Am I getting your creature on my side? Because if I'm getting your creature on my side, that's amazing for 14 mana. If I'm giving you your creature, then I'm not going to play that card at all. I mean, Jesus Christ, what? Going to play that against Grist, are you? Yeah, good luck winning that game. Yeah, it really depends which it is. Given that it costs 14 mana, I feel like it is going to do that. I feel like it's going to be a mirrory thing. It's probably been adapted from a card that sounds fun in Commander, in paper. Shall we have a look at the... I'll just go over to my PC. Let's type in Aberrant Return Lorwyn and see what it does in paper, because in paper it says put 1, 2, or 3 target creature cards from graveyards onto the battlefield under your control. Well, that gives me a bit of hope that not only is it putting mine onto my side, but it's also putting yours onto our side. We'll have to test that. If it is putting yours onto my side, then I really don't know. I guess, obviously, you want to play something like that against Grist. But if you just get kind of a garbage thing out from your opponent, then it's kind of an expensive way to do a reanimation effect. And let's not forget, reanimation effects in this game are not the best thing, are they? Have you seen Coalstroke Golem? Gearhulk. Was it called Coalstroke Gearhulk? Have you seen a lot of that being played? That's the one that does a reanimation effect. Reanimation effects are just never as good as just like grabbing the top card of your library and whacking it into play, like so many things do. But assuming it puts it into play on your side, worth a look. Don't mind it. Ashling the Limitless. 13 mana, 2/3, 5 colour. At the beginning of your turn, the first card in your hand with Evoke gains 15 mana. Well, that's just way too narrow, isn't it? We like gaining 15 mana. We like gaining it from, say, a Mystic Gate. I'm afraid that's going to be my go-to for the SHM filter lands, is Mystic Gate. I can't be bothered to try thinking up all of the different names of them. But putting 15 mana only into a card with Evoke just seems too narrow. Anyone think of a card with Evoke that they've actually played with? And no, I'm not talking about the Commoners' Cup. I noticed the other day, the Commoners' Cup runs every week. The Commoners' Cup is scheduled to run every fucking week these days. What the fuck is that about? Oh, I hate that fucking event. What a piece of shit. Where were we? When an elemental card is exiled with full mana from your hand, create an elemental token. A 5/5. Then reinforce each elemental creature you control. So I have an Evoke card. This is the idea of it. I have an Evoke card in my hand. 15 mana goes into it. I don't even pay for it. I just exile it. And then I get a 5/5 immediately reinforced to a 10/10. Yeah. And then the next time I do it, same again. So yeah. So basically every time I exile that card, I get an extra 10/10 worth of power on the table. Have fun with that if you want to. I'm going to be playing with Dragonhawk. Thanks very much. Belonging. When this creature enters or leaves the battlefield, I believe this symbol here is persist, isn't it? So when it dies, it comes back. But not when it gets bounced. Oh, didn't we... Sarah, did you have a thing where you killed it with a persist creature with a -X effect?
Yes.
And it didn't come back?
Will of the Abzan.
Will of the Abzan. Yeah, I wonder. I don't know if that's working with every persist effect or with every -X effect. But we definitely had a thing recently where, obviously, if you destroy something, you destroy a creature with persist, it's going to come back. But there was a thing where something got -X and didn't come back. Worth looking out for. That may be a bug. That may be fixed. It may not be fixed. Anyway, this looks rubbish, doesn't it? It's a 12 mana 6/6 that creates 2 shapeshifter tokens. I mean, that is squarely high shit tier, isn't it? In fact, I mean, this is barely getting into high shit tier, frankly. Low high shit tier, I think. Grave Venerations. When the support enters the board, create 3 blight tokens. Okay. So we're playing a 13 mana support, but we're also fucking up 3 of our gems so they don't generate mana. So this better be good. At the end of your turn, if there are 1 or more blight gems on the board, return the first creature card from your graveyard to your hand. It gains full mana at the end of your turn. Otherwise, create a blight gem. I mean, what I'm seeing there is a mana filler giver that needs things in the graveyard. And I'm asking myself why I would play this over a mana filler giver that doesn't need things in the graveyard, like Dragonhawk, like Luke, like the Infinite Cruel Claw. What do you think, Sarah? You play with things like this to get things out of the graveyard. What do you think?
I like Cruel Claw.
Yeah, but Cruel Claw, crucially, puts things in the graveyard. This card doesn't put things in the graveyard. That's the big difference between those 2 cards.
I guess it's 3 cheaper than...
You like Corral of the Void, don't you?
do like Corral of the Boy, but I use it with Crowclaw.
Yeah, okay. So would you play this with Crawclaw?
Maybe.
So there you go. So I don't like it because I'd rather be playing a proper mana filler giver. Sarah, who likes to play with slightly different cards, she's giving it a maybe. So that's a half out of 2 score between the two of us. Otherwise, create a blight gem. Yeah, I don't see why I would want to. It's exactly what I was just talking about with the Gearhog, wasn't it? Reanimation effects are just worse than fetching things from your library and putting them into play. Impulsivity. Here's an elemental with persist again and bravery. Nah. When this creature enters the battlefield or deals combat damage to a creature. That's weird, isn't it? Because, I mean, it doesn't deal combat damage to creatures. Persist and bravery don't deal combat damage to creatures. So that looks like so. It's got the text of something that might trigger every turn. Actually, it only triggers the one time. Return a random card from your graveyard to your hand. If it's a spell card, it gains full mana. I mean, come on! Do I even need to say the word Dragonhawk? I mean, come on. A random card, if it's a spell card, it gains full mana. And you could just be playing with your phenomenon investigators, really, I suppose, is the better, rather than Crawclaw. Crawclaw is triggering every turn apart from this one. This one's triggering on this turn, but not every subsequent one. So it's the polar opposite. So it's more like a phenomenon investigators. But this is the thing: you're only getting a spell card back if it happens to be a spell card that comes back to your hand. If there are only spell cards in your hand in the graveyard, then fair enough. You get a spell card, it has full mana. You can't really rely on that happening, though. And it's got this weird thing about or deals combat damage to a creature and nothing that makes that happen. If it had Berserk or Defender, that would be a bit more understandable, wouldn't it? It would make the card worse because it would die, but it would be a bit more understandable. Don't like it, not using it. Ashling Rekindled. Oh, transform cards. Okay. I mean, I'd rather see some more bloody split cards. I want cards that I can transform in my hand. I don't like these werewolf-like things that get onto the battlefield and they flip. But I see how, this is the theme of Lorwyn Eclipsed, isn't it? That there are two aspects. There's a nice aspect to Ashling and there's a nasty aspect to Ashling. And you flip between the two of them. So it's thematic. But I would rather have a card in my hand like Concoct Connive, and I get to choose which side to cast. Because it's like playing 11 cards in your deck. That's why Discover, for God's sake. What was the other side of Discover called? Discover and... can't remember. You had a nice draw spell with Surveil, and the flip side of it was a nice removal spell. It's like playing with 2 cards in one deck slot. It's great. Anyway, when this creature enters the battlefield or transforms to this form, discard the last 2 cards from your hand, then draw 2 cards. Is that it? Holy shit. That's bad. And activate 2 blue to transform it. That's a real piece of shit, isn't it? And it's a 1/3. I mean, the other side better be a 5/5, even if it is. That's a really, really bad card. Come on, this better be really good. It's not going to... Look, here we go. It's a 1/3. When the creature transforms to this form or is reinforced, gain 10 mana. Activate 2 red. Yeah, it's a 2 blue, isn't it? Activate 2 blue. It's going to sit on this side. This side is terrible. And even if you flipped it over to this side and got your 10 mana, I mean, why play with this when you can play with a fucking Mystic Gate? There you go, I just get 8 mana every turn, and I don't have to faff around getting it onto the correct side. It doesn't discard the wrong cards in my hand. Garbage! Bridget's command. We like commands, don't we? Did I like, I should say, any of the commands in Lorwyn? Not really. No. I think Madren, I think he's had a bit of play out of it. He's not a terrible player, is he? Hello, Madren. Not a terrible player. Or likes to post good results, likes to post his decks up in the from the Ashes Discord, so everybody can see, get an example of what somebody good's playing. He quite likes a lot of the commands, so if we're going to get a whole cycle of this, maybe that'll be a good one. I'm just not sure there's a good one in the Lorwyn ones, I only just got Cryptic Command today, so I can't tell you if it's any good. I played the red one a bit, but really only as a midweek card in a Temet deck. I wouldn't play that deck in a coalition event. Steer Command, don't really like that. Primal Command, no, don't really like that, I don't think. Can't quite remember exactly what it does. So yeah, I didn't really like any of the Lorwyn commands. This is nice and cheap at 8 mana though, isn't it? Kindred Kithkin, we'll remind ourselves what that does. It gets some mana. When a player casts a card with a Kindred mechanic. Okay, when I cast this card, all creatures that share a creature type with it, so all my Kithkins in play, get +1/+1. I mean, honestly, while I've been mastering cards, I have found I've been giving +1/+1 to things, So yeah, if you want to play with those things in while you're mastering cards in the Commoners' Cup, you will lose quite a few games though if you master cards in the Commoners' Cup, because you'll come up against Grist. I'm afraid that's just how it works. And each card in your hand with the same creature type will gain 3 mana. So I mean, it does mean when you cast this card, any other Bridget's commands in your hand will get 3 mana. Choose one. Option A, reinforce the first non-token Kithkin creature you control. Can anyone think of a good one? Nope, me neither. Create 3 Lorwyn Kithkin tokens. Bad, okay. Option B, your first creature gets +4/+4, then fights the first opposing creature. I would grudgingly play this in like the Silver Cup if it was an uncommon. I'd be like, yeah, go on, it's okay for the Silver Cup. It's a mythic. Deceit. 12 mana 5/5. When this creature enters the battlefield, oh no, we've had this, haven't we? If there are 6 or more gems on the board, we had a whole cycle of these. Maybe in both sets, did we have a cycle of these in Lorwyn and Shadowmoor? We've seen a bunch of these recently and they suck. If there are 6 or more blue gems on the board, if your opponent has 5 or less cards in hand, that's a lot of if statements. Return target opposing creature to your opponent's hand. If there are 6 or more black gems on the board, your opponent discards the last card that can be discarded from their hand. I'll be honest, I'd rather be playing a Harbinger of the Tides over that. Yeah. I mean, there probably are 6 or more blue gems on the board, but there might not be. And your opponent might not have 5 or less cards in hand. And all you're doing is bouncing something. Harbinger at least has the decency to make it cost a bit more. And we don't like discarding the last card in somebody's hand because it's probably a card they didn't care about anyway. So, yeah, don't like it. Grub's command. Isn't there one for 14 mana that I want to say Dim Rover's Horror. And it bounces a creature when it comes into play. And then, doesn't it discard a card every turn? I'm going to look that up. Dimrov. Oh, I can't look it up here because I'm not in the... Well, never mind. I'll look it up later. Yeah, anyway, my point is that I think there's a card that looks a lot like this, but the bounce isn't based on the gems, and the discard happens every turn, and therefore it's a zillion times better. Grub's command. I like the fact that all these commands are 8. Maybe one of them will be good. Oh, no, they're not going to be because they're all going to do this thing, aren't they? Option A, reinforce the first non-token goblin creature you control. That creature gets +1/+1 and haste. Crawlclaw's not a goblin. No, there's the possibility. Yeah, obviously he's a weasel. There's the possibility that there'll be some amazing tribal creature that one of these will work on, and we also won't care. like, I mean, Bird is a tribe, but it's just not a tribe in Lorwyn or Shadowmoor. So, you know, no good for Dragonhawk. This is the vague possibility that there's a tribe, but there's a goblin I can't remember that's quite good, you know. Even if that was true, why would I want to give it +1/+1 in haste? Why would I want to put 3 Kithkin tokens into play? These are not good cards. Option B, destroy a non-token opposing card. That's okay for 8, isn't it? So there we go. So that is, you know, a replacement for Molten Collapse. I suppose Molten Collapse always hits the most expensive card, doesn't it? So this could hit a token. If your opponent is dropping Pajami tokens into play or gold tokens into play, this could hit. No, because this destroys a non-token card. Okay. Still not getting the most expensive one, but at least it's going to hit an actual card that actually costs your opponent something. So we're back on the table with this. We've got a 1-for-1 removal. It's got an option A on it as well, but we probably never care about that because it's terrible. It's got the Kindred thing. It might be adding some mana to another copy of Grub's Command. And then we've got, after we destroy the card, a non-token opposing card, then you may destroy the top 4 cards from your library if you do return the first Goblin card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, so that could be another copy of itself, couldn't it? That's kind of the key thing here. Obviously, I was being snotty about reinforcing the first non-token goblin creature you control, but this is a goblin. You may destroy the top 4 cards from your library. So the very first time you cast this, you might get a copy of this destroyed from your library and put into your hand. Yeah, but the second time you cast it, you are going to get a copy of this put back into your hand. This is a never-ending stream of removal spells that cost 8. Yeah, it does not destroy vanguards. I think we have to consider this. I think we have to look at this. If that's really what it does, a never-ending stream of 8 mana removal spells that kill both creatures and supports, that is well worth looking at. Not super powerful, but better than just one card that does it, isn't it? Grub, Storied Matriarch. When this creature enters the battlefield or transforms, return the first goblin creature or goblin support, not goblin spell, from your graveyard to your hand. Right. Not sure we care. Activate 2. Yeah, they're all going to be this, aren't they? They're all going to be activate 2 to transform. It's going to kill all of them stone dead. When this creature transforms, create a Shadowmoor Goblin. That's a 1/1. When this creature attacks, reinforce your goblin creatures until end of turn. So we've got a 2/1 and a 1/1. We reinforce them both. Then create a Blight Gem. Is that worth it? I mean, I've got to say no. What's exciting about this card? Matt was in Discord earlier. Hello, Matt. Matt was saying, oh my god, this is a 1-card infinite combo. It's not, is it? What am I not seeing about this card? This isn't a 1-card infinite combo, is it? Because you have to attack in order to reinforce the creature. And then when it is reinforced, it creates another Shadowmoor Goblin. But that's not a loop. Don't see the point. Maybe there's an amazing goblin creature, goblin support. There never is, though, is there? I always say this. You know, I always say, well, this card fetches a Tarmogoyf card type into my hand. So if there's a good Tarmogoyf in the set, then this card will be really good. And there never is. There never is a good dependent card. So I'm not holding out much hope.
Gideon doesn't like it.
Gideon, does he not? Okay. Hello, Gideon. Are you in the chat? Hello. Welcome, welcome. Who have we got here? Sig. So this is going to be another activate 2. When this creature enters the battlefield or transforms, draw a card. That card gains 4 mana. That's not enough, is it? Draw a card that gains 4 mana. I could be playing a Phenomenon Investigators for 11 mana and drawing a card and giving it all of its mana. Yeah, and that only costs 4 more mana than this. It's 11 mana is Phenomenon Investigators, and this one is 7. What's the flip side? Target creature you control gains protection from your opponent's Planeswalker's colours. Target creature you control, not even you yourself. And that's all it does. Just protection. I mean, I suppose I should be happy that in the 11 cards we looked at, that are all supposed to be good, there's one that's genuinely worth looking at, which is the Grub's Command, isn't there? 9/11. Nice. So, but none of... Oh, and yeah, I mean, I guess Aberrant Return, which we assume is going to return 2 creatures to you. Let's call that a good start. Let's be optimistic and call that a good start. Right. So now we're going to head on, start doing them in alphabetical order. What is the time? 10 o'clock. We'll do a little bit. Should we do a little bit? Yeah, let's do a little bit. Let's start. Just do a little tiny bit of the actual set. Was I sensible and got some water? I did. What a sensible person I am. Lorwyn. Card name. Show all. The first card we've seen. Excuse me a sec. Just a quick drink. So we move on to Abigail. Abigail, get it? Gale. Eloquent First Year. Eloquent First Year? It's an L. I mean, come on, this... this looks like a Strixhaven card that's been accidentally printed in the wrong set, doesn't it? It's a bird, it's an owl. She's an Eloquent First Year. Birds are not one of the tribes in Lorwyn. Maybe they are now. Maybe there are going to be a bird tribe. Maybe we're going to have a bird command like we had before, and we will be able to use it with Dragonhawk, and maybe that'll be a thing. Who knows? When this creature enters the battlefield, target creature loses all its basic evergreen abilities. Then that creature gains flying, first strike, and lifelink. Right, so basically just giving something lifelink. It's a 1/1 for 8 mana. It's mostly just giving something lifelink. I'm not excited. Abundant Countryside, we didn't see this. Oh my god, this is a mythic. What's going on here? Ah, it's doing both things. I see. So this is in the realm, in that case, of Mana Crypt, isn't it? That's not a nice comparison. At the beginning of your turn, convert 2 gems to your opponent Planeswalker colours. To your opponent Planeswalker colours. Oh, fuck off. Then the first creature card in your hand, gains 6 mana. Compare and contrast Mana Crypt. Mana Crypt is converting 3 gems. It costs 9. Converting 3 gems to your colours. Yeah? Now, it doesn't give you mana straight away, but if you hit the mana field, which is not hard, especially because it's doing some conversion as well, it puts all of the mana into that card. I mean, I'm playing Mana Crypt over this. This is a land. Activate 1, create a shapeshifter token. I mean, that is not as good as Swarmyard, is it? Convert 2 gems to your opponent Planeswalker colours. That's weird. Why would they make it do that? Why would they make it so bad? It gets to be high shit tier anyway. Adept Water Shaper. 15 mana 3/4. That's too expensive. When another merfolk creature you control attacks, that creature gains prevent damage until the beginning of your next turn. And this has got Bravery. Any reason why? Can anyone see why this has got Bravery? Because it doesn't matter when it attacks. It only cares when other things attack. Do you think they were reading the card and they just couldn't figure out what it does? So they thought, oh, I better put Bravery on it just in case it's relevant. I don't think it is, though, is it? Another merfolk creature you control attacks. Nope. Appeal to Erdu. Your first creature gets +2/+1 till end of 9? Fucking hell, I was even at common, even a worthless card like this, at common, I was expecting to cost about 2 or 3 mana. I mean, thank God it's got Convoke 2, otherwise it would have been really bad. Aquatex defenses. Your last creature gets +1/+2. Then your last creature gains hexproof until the end of your next turn. Yeah, it's not good. In this day and age, we can have permanents that give things hexproof. In fact, I think there are some these days, aren't there? I think there are some permanents that give your stuff hexproof. You can afford to do that. We can't get excited about giving a creature hexproof permanently, especially when it's so easy to just blow everything off the board without targeting it. And +1/+2 for 10. Just terrible. Ashling's Command. Okay, so this does not cost 8. So they're not all going to cost 8 then. That's a shame. Can I just say, once again, I'm sure I've gone on record saying this already, but really love the elemental design in Shadowmoor. They just look really cool, don't they? They've changed them subtly, I feel like. They look a little bit different from how they used to. But I just love them. So, Kindred Elemental. Choose one. Reinforce the first non-token elemental creature you control. Create 2 gold tokens. I mean, I feel like elemental creatures are more likely to be relevant things than, say, goblin creatures. Or what was the first one we saw? Whatever the first... Kithkin, yes, definitely. Because elemental, that would be like Gaia's Revenge is an elemental, isn't it?
Is it?
I'm pretty sure it is, yeah. Sarah's going to have a look at that one for me. Thank you, Sarah.
Yes.
Yeah, thought so. So I think we'll probably, and like reinforcing a Gaia's Revenge, I think we can all agree that's not nothing, is it? You know? It's a bit Winmore for my liking, but that's certain. I have to admit, that's a decent play.
It's getting me through Seize the Day.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, I mean, it's amazing in Seize the Day, Gaia's Revenge. Really like it in the left node. You're not going to be playing Ashling's Command in Seize the Day, that's the thing. So, we don't... I was going to say we don't mind it. That's still pretty terrible, option A, because that's all it does. But I think we have to admit it's not nothing. That's what we're going to say about that. Option B, deal 3 damage to each opposing creature. Then draw 2 cards. Those cards gain 5 mana, 4/11 mana. Nope, not playing with that. Assert Perfection. Now already I'm detecting a theme in this deck, and this theme is commons that pump your creatures up, not enough. Target creature you control gets +1/+0. Then it deals damage equal to its power to the first opposing creature. Okay, it could be, even at common, it could be more powerful than that, you know? Give us more shit removal cards for the Commoners' Cup. If you're going to make us play the Commoners' Cup all the time, it'd be nice if we could have a few more cards we could master, you know? So there can be some removal cards that aren't playable in Coalition events. Make them playable in the Commoners' Cup. Don't make me regret playing them in the Commoners' Cup. All this stuff that... So I finished doing all the stuff in Commoners' Cup that like says destroy target creature. We don't mind that. Even if it costs 12 mana, I'll play a card that says destroy target creature in the Commoners' Cup. But then I started having to play things that say like deal 2 damage to a creature and deal 3 damage to a creature. And yeah, I lost hard with some of those decks. With too many of those cards in. Even the shit removal has to be of a certain standard. Auntie Ool, Curse Wretch, Goblin Warlock. Ward, create 3 Blight Gems. Interesting. So that's a cost for your opponent to play there. If he wants to target it, he's going to have to create 3 Blight Gems. That kind of feels like it's quite easy to shoot, though, then, in that case. When a Blight Gem is created... Oh, hello! This is interesting. When a Blight Gem is created, draw a card, then your opponent loses 5 life. No, rubbish. This is a fucking masterpiece. Oh, God. Auntie Sentence. Oh, I like the art. There's kind of a froudness to this art, do you not think? This looks a bit frowdy to me. Create 3 Blight Gems. Right, so let's remember, shall we, that Blight Gems are the thing that was created as a cost so that the cards can be even more powerful. Let's see what this 8 mana common spell does that justifies having an extra cost that fucks up your mana is it? Target opposing creature gets -3/-3 permanently. Your opponent exiles the last card from their hand.
I can do that with ambiguity.
I would expect, yeah, you bloody can with ambiguity, yeah. I would expect for a Blight Gems on a card like that, how about target opposing creature is destroyed and your opponent exiles the last card from there. I'm not even going to ask. All right, on a common, I'm not going to ask for it to be the first card. I'm not going to say I should be able to destroy a creature and blow up the first card in somebody's hand on a common. I'd put that on a rare, but not on a common. But this, that is not a card that needs Blight Gems on it. Aurora Awakener. Is a giant druid, apparently. I mean, he looks a lot like a monkey to me, rather than being a giant druid.
Maybe his wild shape.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's what's going on. There's some wild shaping going on. When you cast this card, destroy the top X cards of your... This is a 25 mana 7/7. So, this is going to need to be something that Grist is going to want to play. And I bet it isn't, but we'll see. When you cast this card, destroy the top X cards of your library. Oh, you know, Grist never minds dropping extra cards in the library, in the graveyard, does it? When this creature enters the battlefield... Ooh, okay, stuff happening here. Return up to the first X creature or support cards from your graveyard to play under your control. Does anybody else still think that Grist is not a problem? Is anyone thinking that? Yeah? All you people out there who are all like, Main Loop, hello, you're right out there, Main Loop. All you people out there who are all like, it's not a Grist problem, it's a Galta problem. And when Galta goes, Grist will be fine. Grist will just be completely balanced. Does anyone still think that? So, I mean, this is the thing with this card, isn't it? Is that the 25 mana cost, you just cheat it. And there are many ways to cheat it. It's not just going to be Grist doing it, although Grist is going to be doing it plenty. But, you know, all the mana filler givers are still doing it. I hear that, you know, Graven Cairns can put 15 mana into your hand every single turn if you're a white-green planeswalker. Or Firelit Thicket can do it if you're a red-green planeswalker. Domri actually quite good. You know, I play Domri quite a lot in midweek events. But this is a sick-ass effect. I mean, it's a reanimation effect, you know, and I was being snotty about reanimation effects before. But this is returning multiple things into play. So X is the number of colours among cards you control. So I think that's a slightly limiting factor there. I mean, how many colours realistically are you going to have? If you just drop one of these out, it's only going to destroy the top one card of your library, isn't it? And it's only going to put one thing into play because it's a green thing. How easy is it to have 5 different colours out and have it do it to 5 things? So yes, maybe all of a sudden I'm going a little bit colder on this. I don't know. I feel like it's a mistake. Do you know what I mean? 25 mana is not the way that you limit a card like this because it's so easy to get around the 25 mana. So if people figure out a way around it, I feel like you're in trouble. Is this going to be playable? Maybe not. Maybe not, actually. Maybe it's just too much hassle to put multiple different colours of things into play. How would you get things into play that help accelerate? Like Marvo, for example. There's an example of a thing that it's a creature, it's got 2 colours on it, and it's the type of thing you want to play in turn 1 that helps accelerate your game plan along. You know? That's the kind of thing you're looking at. Most lands, for example, a lot of the time you want to start your game with a land, don't you? And they tend to be colourless. So they aren't helping you with this type of thing. Are there a lot of things that help you kind of speed this along? Not sure there are. Does Gris give a shit about this? I mean, maybe not. No, maybe Gris just carries on doing Gelter because it's green, and Blossoming Tortoise because it's green, and Rakdos has got 2 colours on it, I suppose. People still like Rakdos. Rakdos is still good now, destroying supports. Obviously, it doesn't kill creatures anymore. It is still good now. Yeah. Yeah, having got a little excited in the middle there, I fell into my own trap, didn't I? Of not reading to the end of the card. I still don't like it, though. I still don't like that it's 25 mana, which kind of makes it a bit poo. If you, as I say, if you want to play it fair, if you want to get your matches and put it into play and pay for your other things fair, it's too expensive. And if you want to cheat it into play, then you cheat it into play. And it's the cost is irrelevant. Haven't the foggiest, mate. Play with it. See what you think. Haven't the foggiest about that one. I'm not going to be playing with it. Barbed Bloodletter. Here we go. It's another one of those cards, isn't it? Beginning of your turn, your first creature gets +1/+2 and gains Wither. This is at least a support. It's making your creatures not big enough every turn, as opposed to those spells we had earlier that was making your creatures not big enough once. Bark of Doran. Here we go. At the beginning of combat, your first creature gets +0/+1. Whew! Then that creature's power becomes equal to its toughness.
Making things big every turn is sort of a doubling season.
It's permanent. Yeah, okay. All right. I get it. Fair enough. It is permanent. Creature's power becomes equal to its toughness. Which means that, we've seen Belonging. Vile Boggart. Is this what goblins look like? I've never seen a goblin that looks like this before. When this creature dies, blah, 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 blah. I mean, it looks cool. We can say that about that card. Bitter Bloom Bearer. Affinity for Fairy. Right. Now, there are ways of making fairy tokens. Does the Planeswalker Una create fairy tokens by any chance? I know there's a card called Una that creates a bunch of fairy tokens. Do we give a shit? If we've got that card, that creature that's Una, or any other creature that's a fairy itself, and it's creating fairy tokens, and this is our third creature slot, do we give a shit? That's what we have to ask ourselves. At the beginning of your turn, create 2 fairy tokens, then you lose 3 life. Oh, that's the affinity symbol. That's a very weird symbol. I mean, I guess I can get used to that. Flash Flying, affinity for fairy. It's a 1/1. I mean, who? So you need to have fairies in play in order for it to get cheaper. And then it's making a few more. Not enough, really. That's the thing. Not making enough fairies. 2 a turn. Who cares about 2 a turn? Not enough. Blight Rot. Target creature gets -4/-4. Yeah, needs to destroy. This is what I was talking about earlier with the Commoner's Cup. Yeah, is that you can master these cards. Yeah, and if you're lucky, your opponent will be mastering these cards too. But then you might run into somebody who's actually built the deck, and then you're a bit fucked. Blighted Blackthorn. When this creature comes into play, again, Blighted, remember, is a cost. Normally, if you were to play a 3/7 defender, it would cost a lot more than 14 mana, wouldn't it? That's what you would expect for a 3/7 defender. About 25 mana you would expect. But because we're blighting gems, that's why we can play a 3/7 defender for the low cost of 14 mana. Get fucked. Is anyone building a Tree Folk deck? Let me know in the comments. If you have 3 different creatures that share a type in your library, return all creatures from your graveyard to the battlefield under your control. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, don't we already have this? You know, my first thought is to look at this and go, oh, well, you could build this. You build your deck carefully so you could play Space-Time Anomaly, yeah, and this. But then can't you just build Space-Time Anomaly and Raise the Past? Yeah, which would put everything into play, and it wouldn't care about what the creature types were, and basically cost the same amount. At least 3 return all creatures from your graveyard to the battlefield under your control. Yeah, this is black. Raise the Past is white. Find a way of playing white. If you want to play this card, find a way of playing white. Bloom Tender. What's going on here? We've got anime art all of a sudden. Elf Druid. Gain X mana. Ah, this is Vivid. Okay, I see. They've not called it Vivid. This was the mechanic that was obviously here on the Aurora Awakener. Now we've seen it here. X is the number of colours amongst cards you control. So this is it's like, I guess it's like Devotion in paper. We've had Devotion in this set, and Devotion works nothing like that. I'm trying to think. I feel like we've seen this type of thing before. I mean, maybe Invasion in paper had cards that seemed to care about having as many different colours in play as you could. What are you thinking? Sarah's looking at me and she's thinking. Go on.
There was a thing where you got to, it got extra for each different colour you used to fill it with mana.
Converge, yes, I do remember that actually. I mean, that was terrible, wasn't it, Converge? But that was largely terrible because of the way it was implemented, because it didn't tell you what colours you put into it. I mean, I wouldn't... Converge, I struggled with actually playing with Converge a bit because it was 2016 and like I didn't know any better. But these days, if they made Converge, I would just throw it in the bin. Anyway, not really much like that. Doesn't generate enough mana early in the game. This is the thing about this, you know. That's when you want your mana, is early in the game. And at 12 mana, it doesn't come down early enough, and it's not generating enough mana when there's only one colour in play. So I don't think so. I want what's the Somberweld? What's that 5 mana thing that converts 5 green gems? That's the type of thing that I want. This isn't that. This is obviously built that's a little more for the mid game, but then, you know, I hear Mystic Gate's good. Bosom Blind. When the support enters the board, disable the first opposing creature until the end of your next turn. Yeah, okay. Not good enough. Boggart Curse Crafter. When another goblin creature you control dies, yeah, that's absolute garbage. I kind of like the art though. Nice purpley things going on there. I think we're getting to the end of tonight's stream. Actually, let's do the thing that I like to do and keep going until we get to. Well, in fact, we're just about to get to a mythic. So let's call this the last card of the night, the Boggart Mischief. This is, of course, an enchantment goblin. So we're thinking that something like this might show up. When the support enters the board, create 2 blight gems. We didn't see this one earlier. No, we didn't. When you clear a blight gem, now that's a problem. It triggers on clearing blight gems. So you're going to have to play multiple cards that create blight gems. We didn't see anyone. Did we see anyone creating blight gems? Was Oko creating blight? Not that Oko can play with a black card. I don't think that Oko was creating blight gems. So we haven't got a planeswalker that creates blight gems. Not that we'd want one anyway, because these things don't have any forward compatibility. When you clear a blight gem, create a Shadowmoor Goblin token. That is a simple 1/1. When a goblin creature dies, your opponent loses 3 life and you gain 3 life. I mean, that seems staggeringly low power to me, doesn't it? We get 2 blight gems. When you match one of it, that means you get no mana for that match. Let's not forget that. I mean, I don't know how cascades are going to work. I assume that when a cascade goes off, it will only be the blight gem that gets matched that doesn't give you mana. And then the rest of the cascade will give you it. But then, let's say if you do a swap and you get a white match and a blue match at the same time and one of them's got a blight gem, what happens then? I don't know. Anyway, you get 2 of the gems. So it's a bit like Activate 2, I'm afraid. You clear it, you get a 1/1 that doesn't have any easy way of dying, and then when it dies, your opponent loses 3 and you gain 3. So the fact that it triggers up to 10 times really, really doesn't make up for the fact that it's just such a low power card. This doesn't even make it to high shit tier, I don't think. Surely not. Anyway, I think we'll call that a night for the night. Thank you, people, for coming in. I'm surprised anybody came in because you probably all thought I was dead because I was away for so long. I will be finishing all of the Lorwyn Eclipsed review before I go back and fill in any of the gaps. Like I say, I'm sure I'll finish the Lorwyn set review off some point because it just bugs me that it's unfinished. Even though it's going to be weird that there's such a gap between all the rest of the review that I did months and months ago and the last part. So that'll probably be coming in the future. Shadowmoor, I don't know. Maybe. I'll see how it goes. As for part 2 of this, I mean, just kind of keep your eye out on the feed, really. Do that like and subscribe thing. That's what people say, don't they? Those influencers. Those YouTube influencers on Instagram. Yeah, do the thing with the bell so that it bugs the shit out of you. Yeah, do that because I'm worth it. God damn it. Because I will be just showing up intermittently. I mean, I'll probably try and give some kind of warning when I'm going on. How much warning did I give tonight when I went on? 45 minutes. That's how much. So I'm not really good at advertising myself. Normally, I would say part 2 will be within the next 2 or 3 days. That's what I normally say, isn't it? I'm not necessarily going to make that promise, to be perfectly honest. It certainly won't be tomorrow, but I can't even really guarantee it's going to be Thursday or Friday. That's good, isn't it? It's the kind of dependability you all come here for. Thank you very much for being in. I think we made a good start to the set. We found something already, but that's, because we started with the Elite Pack. So maybe that bodes well. I've only got to B and we found a thing already, which is, that removal card that I like, that fetches back copies of itself. And we'll see you all for part 2. Where's the thing? It's so long since I've done this, I can't